morning, Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. And good morning to all of you out there in the virtual world, wherever you are. Thank you for being here today and celebrating with us this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for my wonderful friends. And thank you, Lord, just thank you for waking me up this morning and starting me on my way. Because somebody that was here last week, they're not here with us today. So I truly want you to say thank you and mean it from the bottom of your heart. And sing along with me if you like. That would help us out. Here we go. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friends. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing day. This healing, healing, healing day. I want to say thank you. Just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, Lord. I want to say thank you. Just want to say thank you, Lord. I want to say thank you. Say it with me. Thank you, 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 thank you. I want to say thank you. Yes, Lord, thank you. Thank you for this day. And now I'd like to introduce to you Robert Leeds. Robert?
Thank you. Good morning. I hope you can hear me okay. We were having some technical difficulties earlier, but I hope I'm coming in loud and clear. Thank you to our terrific musicians today. Kenneth Cozy Arrington, the traveling voice, accompanied by the fierce Deb Santa Maria. Welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where we teach spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. I'm your host today, Robert Leeds, and this shirt is what happens when you're sheltering in place with access to online shopping. Let it be a cautionary tale. Welcome to all of you joining us in our virtual sanctuary, and a special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the very first time on a Sunday morning. If we were here in person, we'd hand you a welcome packet. But in lieu of that, if you'd like to connect with us to get more information about who we are and what we do, please reach out and send an email to Constance Chapman, our administrative coordinator, at constance@oaklandcsl.org. In order to maintain a sacred atmosphere and to maximize our bandwidth, I invite you to please take a moment to make sure your Zoom microphone and video are muted and turned off. We adore our children here at OCSL, so let's now take a moment to bless our children wherever they may be. We honor all our youth and children in our community and the world. We love you. We see you. You are Spirit's gift to us. Thank you for being in our lives, and so it is. All right. Let's take a look at some of the wonderful events happening at our spiritual center as we continue to support you virtually. This Wednesday, January 27th, practitioner Constance Chapman, look how happy she looks in that picture, will be speaking on As Below, So Above. I hope I don't have that backwards. As Below, So Above. Meditation at 6:30 p.m. and service is at 7. The Women's Spiritual Transformation Group is back, reconvening on January 30th. That's next Sunday for 6 sessions. Sign up online under events. That's always a popular event that we do. If you are a voting member, oh, I hear somebody talking. You might want to get muted. If you are a voting member of Oakland Center and are looking for an important way to serve our community, consider applying to be on the board of trustees. We are a great group who support the financial and administrative foundations of our community. For more information, contact Deborah Jackson, and you can also download an application from the homepage on the website. And that application details a lot about what's involved in the position and probably answer a lot of your questions. The deadline's coming up at the end of this month, so do not hesitate. Your 2020 giving statement was emailed to you on Wednesday morning. If it hasn't landed in your inbox, you might want to check your spam folder just in case. If we didn't have an email for you, your statement was mailed to you. And speaking of giving, it is never too late to make a 2021 giving pledge. I believe we just recently broke the $200,000 mark, and there are pledges that are continuing to come in. So thank you so much for your financial support, and keep it coming. February is Black History Month. And aren't we living through Black history right now with Black Lives Matter, a woman of color as Madam Vice President? And how about Amanda Gorman, the dynamic young Black woman who wrote and read the inaugural poem this week? She has just blown up the internet. Holy smokes. Well, OCSL is joining the celebration with a dynamic team bringing you a month of stimulating and illuminating opportunities to grow and learn. The first confirmed event is a daily 30 to 45-minute noontime call with practitioner Dodi Cheney-Fernandez. She will be sharing a daily reading from Dr. Dan Morgan, an African-American Science of Mind writer, followed by discussion and prayer. Watch the Village News for more details and more events. And if you're not getting the Village News and have signed up for it, you might want to put info@oaklandcsl.org in your contact information so your computer doesn't think that it's spam. Because we are many things, but spam is not one of them. Our Facebook page has moved. For technical reasons, much too boring to get into, we weren't able to live stream our old page, so we've set up a new one. Our new page is facebook.com/spirituallivingofficial. We now have something like 145 likes. We'd love you to like the page and then invite your friends to like it as well. If you click in those 3 little buttons and then choose invite friends, you can share it all over. So we're at 145. Can we get to 200 by the end of the weekend? How quickly can we get to 500 likes? The more likes, the more views. So spread us around. Check the Village News for links to these and other activities. And always for information on all that's going on at your Oakland Center, please visit our website, which is Communication Central during this time, www.oaklandcsl.org. We have many more groups, ministries, events happening here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living to nourish your soul. Check it out and stay connected during these challenging times, because we know we will be together again in person later this year, and we can't wait to do that. So let's close with a reminder of what we are doing here, our vision and mission statement. Sing it with me. It's going to come up on the slide. I know it. Here it comes. It appears the vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. And that slide reminds me of our beautiful stained glass window, which I can't wait to see again in person. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Blessed be, and so it is. And I think I'm turning it over to, I forgot who I'm turning it over to. My bad. But yes, of course, it's Carmen West Jefferson.
Carmen, you're muted. We can't hear you.
I'm not muted. I'm not muted.
Now we
Can
can
you hear me? Can
now
you
we
hear me
We
now?
can hear you. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that, everyone. Sorry about that. But welcome again, Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Carmen West Jefferson, practitioner here, and I'm going to have two readings for you to listen to. Our first reading is by Ernest Holmes, which is coming on the screen. There is no place in this practice for arrogance or the holier than thou attitude. The great have always been humble. The great have always been kind. The great have always been lovers of humanity. And that's from our beloved founder, Ernest Holmes. And our second reading is from our beloved Richard Robinson, who made his transition last month. And he says, the call comes from a confirmation of our service in everyday things we provide to others. Maybe with a bedside call, holding another's hand, or in a simple cleaning for a friend in need. Maybe a meditation or a floral gifting, a call or card is a jolt of joy when called for. So in this attitude of just healing, let us pray. Attitude of gratitude. Thank you, Cozy. Thank you, Lord. Knowing that God is all there is. Omnipotent, omnipresent, that self-existent cause, the back of all things, God is that one mind, that one love, that one heart. And it is the mind and love and heart that I speak from right here and right now. And I am knowing and blessing and grateful for this healing that is happening in our nation. So grateful, Father, Mother God, for this exuberance of love and grace and joy and peace. So grateful for what our lives are. So grateful for the love in which we are, knowing that we are one with that God, knowing that we are one with that peace and that joy. So grateful. Singing in our hearts, loving all those who surround us, being the love, being the light, choosing to be courageous, courageous to walk into the light and be the light. So grateful. And with this attitude of gratitude, and so grateful for our musicians, for our IT team, giving thanks for our wonderful Reverend Geri as she speaks the truth this morning, speaks the love this morning, speaks the healing this morning. So grateful for our beautiful Robin for a beautiful meditation on the light. And so grateful for our senior minister, Reverend Jeff, knowing that he is divinely guided, knowing that he is the love and the truth, that he is the one, the love, the light. And so I release this word from my heart unto the action of the law, knowing it cannot return void. I anchor this truth, knowing this service is just absolutely wonderful, beautiful, healing, and that as we step into this light, where the words of our Reverend Geri, let us just know it is so, and anchor the truth in saying, and so it is. And now we turn our service over to the fabulous Kenneth Cozy Arrington, the traveling voice, and the fierce Deb Santa Maria.
Thank you. You know, we all have our roads that we are led on. Each of us, our individual roads, and it's really important that we follow those roads. And in doing so, we will follow our hearts as we follow the road. That's what this song speaks to. With so many roads that seem to lead down to the sea, I wonder which road will be the right one for me. Others may fall away, dead ending left and right. But there is this one road that journeys far from sight. Have you wondered where your road will lead you? Maybe to a bright day, sunshine, or a starry night in heaven. Or it might be you're afraid to go, but you've got to follow your heart and road, or you'll never know, never know. Listen. We are all but travelers living in a foreign land, just trying to find our way the best way we can. Looking for an answer, trying to find some love. Though we have journeyed far, it's not quite far enough. Have you wondered where your road will lead you? Maybe to a song that needs singing, or a summer rain. Or it might be you're afraid to go, but you've got to follow your road, or you'll never know. You've got to follow your road, 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 follow your road. And maybe one day your road will lead you far away. road. Follow your road. You've got to follow your road. Follow your road. Follow your road. And maybe one day a road will lead you far away. Far away. Follow, follow, follow your road. Follow your road. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our own beloved Reverend Geri Carder. Reverend. And I know she's following her road.
It's such a perfect song for this day. Such a beautiful song. And I say it all the time. The two of you are so special to me. I'm always honored when you're here, when I'm here. So we are blessed. Oh my goodness. You know, and our global theme and our monthly theme is timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. And this talk today, this week, is looking ahead. So I love the song. It's so perfect. Follow your road. Follow your road. So I have a few powerful words for you this morning. The phrase that is guaranteed to wake up a congregation during a sermon. And in conclusion. So I hope you don't feel that way. I hope you don't have that experience today, but anyhow, I just wanted to have something funny to share on this glorious day. And I love this talk title because we are truly looking ahead. Now that the inauguration is complete and we have a new look in the White House with such an amazing representation of diversity. It's earlier, it's so beautiful and it's such a celebratory time for all of us, I know. And earlier in our pre-meeting, we were sharing words of how we feel. And my words are sigh of relief. I'm sure many of us feel this way. So this year's theme is timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. As you probably noticed, we have been exploring the deep-rooted teachings of the science of mind this month as we explore sacred wisdom of the ages. We say in Science of Mind, excuse me, new thought, ancient wisdom, blending our new way of thinking into ancient teachings, something that is sacred yet understandable for us. And thank you, Ernest Holmes, for that, and all thinkers. In our deeper understanding of these teachings, we are moved into a deepening of consciousness. So just think about it. Think about when you first learned about this philosophy. Can you remember? And look at where you are now. Only you know how these teachings have inspired you during these challenging times. We find our way in Science of Mind with such ease and grace. Sometimes maybe not so much, but we also always have our teachings to lean into. It makes sense as we think about the shoulders of the giants that we stand on, to name a few: Jesus the Christ, of course, Ernest Holmes, and New Thought pioneers such as Emma Curtis Hopkins and Mary Baker Eddy, Charles Myrtle Fillmore, and then all the individuals who have brought our teachings to us at our spiritual center over the past 75 years. Oh my gosh, it is so incredible. We are so blessed. We are so special. So once again, our title this week, Looking Ahead. And it's important to recognize that we are always living in the now. We know that. Yet looking ahead is the vision we set into motion. It's our vision looking ahead. We have this beautiful visioning class that's going on now. We have our prayer and meditation to just be in the moment and ponder what's next for us, for our highest good, for our spiritual growth, for more love in our life and more joy. So I'd like to check in with everyone because we're all on our individual journey. And I have some questions to ask you. And I'm going to see if I can't just pop them into the chat. The first question is, where is it that you want to go? Where is it that you want to go? And remember, if you're not open, you are not going to get anywhere. Are you open to the possibilities that lie ahead beyond the horizon? Are you open? And what possibilities lie beyond the horizon? What vision do you hold? Do you believe there are infinite possibilities? Because this is absolutely a must in order to move forward. Just knowing there are infinite possibilities, as long as we are open and receptive to them. You know, we often say things like, you have a choice to take a thimble to the well, or you can take a tanker truck. It's our choice. So what infinite possibilities are you open to? And what are your growing edges? Okay, let's face it, we all have them. Is it being more loving and kind, or a better listener? Or perhaps is it learning to not spiritually bypass your emotions and feelings, your wounds and your hurts? Or think about the communities and the movement as a whole. What are our communities' growing edges? I have an idea, and I'm trusting that this year in 2021 we'll be speaking to this in a greater, grander way. Could it be expanding our awareness and understanding that many of us swim in an embodiment of white privilege, systemic racism, white supremacy, global warming, or the lack of understanding Black Lives Matter and marriage equality? These are not political issues. They are vital spiritual topics and fully deserve our attention. Wouldn't you agree? I'm grateful for practitioner Chantal Roffling, who brought to us a wonderful piece written by Reverend Raymond Anderson from the Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. I know that this document is floating around. I hope it makes it to one of our postings or maybe our website page so that everybody can appreciate it. But this is the work that is in the movement right here and right now. Not to say that it hasn't been, because we have done great work, but there's more to go. And I'm very excited about what this year brings to us. So when you set your intentions, are you working toward moving forward, backward, or are you stuck? This is a big question because we can go any which way at any time in our lives. But if you're stuck, please seek the help of a friend, a practitioner, a prayer partner, because what better way to get unstuck than to pray? So speaking of evolutionary vision, and because we're associated with the Centers for Spiritual Living, we have a collective evolutionary vision. And that would be, it is our charge to see a world in which every person lives in alignment with his, her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively, we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. I know we've heard these words before, and this is just a friendly reminder. And I might ask, how does that feel to you? Are you in? Are you up for this? For sure, it takes a village to evolve, and we are definitely an evolving village here at the Oakland Center. You know, we've been through this pandemic, we're doing Zoom, we're connecting in different ways that we never even dreamed of. Yet we still yearn to be back together again soon. You know, I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully you all do too. I know, as Robert said earlier in the announcements, that we will be together again soon, hugging each other, loving each other. So we're doing it a little bit remotely these days, but you know what? The love is still there. The appreciation for one another is still there. And I'm so grateful that we're all here today together on Zoom. You know, Ernest Holmes, I'd like to share a quote from Ernest Holmes' Ideas for Living in 1972. Ernest said, Jesus knew what we all must learn, that we cannot really have an attitude of dislike or hate or viciousness towards other people without robbing ourselves of the healing power and the comforting presence and the divine assurance that the universe itself rests on the shoulders of love. And regarding timeless wisdom, let us remember there is no beginning and no ending. Life is eternal and forever and ever expanding. This we can be sure of. We can also be sure that the allness of spirit is everywhere present in our lives, even when we think it's not so. Even when we think it's not so. It's always there. Let us remember this. Now let's talk a little bit about spiritual principle related to creation and self-awareness. In our Science of Mind teachings, we see creation in this way. The physical universe is the manifest body of the one infinite reality. And the one infinite reality is more than the physical universe. Creation is an expression of the one infinite reality. It is inherently good, and it is ever evolving toward greater expressions of good. So how do we call this forth? Well, as Raymond Charles Barker would say, if we get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuitry of life, anything is possible. It's always up to us. And for self-awareness, self-awareness is the practice that illuminates our alignment with each of the Science of Mind principles. It is a practice of being conscious of our motivations, internal dialogue, and hidden beliefs. It is a willingness to observe and take responsibility for our internal and external choices. Self-awareness is the foundation for conscious choice. So you see, we have free will. You see, it's totally up to us. We have a choice to live by the Science of Mind principles or not. We have the option to open to exploring and learning more about our brothers and sisters of all races and creeds. Remember, we are a philosophy of oneness. Oneness, oneness. How is that occurring in your life? I'm trusting we are open to learning more and more to grow and expand our consciousness of oneness. So I think it was, in fact, I'm most sure it was when I was in practitioner training my second year. And I had a lovely teacher, Reverend, I'm sorry, not Reverend, but Reverend Joan was one of my lovely teachers, of course, but Doris Jones was a practitioner emeritus up at the Golden Gate Center, and I had the opportunity to be in prac training with her as well simultaneously. And she created a synthesis of spiritual principles of being. These are some changeless truths that I'd like to share with you. Now, there's quite a few, and I'm actually going to take a chance here and copy and paste these into the chat in case you all would like to save them or be with them or look at them. But I'm going to talk about just a few of them. Let's see, will this go? I think it's too big, so I'll have to get it to you some other way. But spiritual principles of being. God can only do for us that which God can do through us. Yes? God gives unconditionally, gives all and to all alike. God gives unconditionally, gives all and to all alike. You've heard this one many times. There's a power for good in the universe, and we can use it. All we have to do is remember. There is one mind. The mind we use is the mind of God. And this one, of course, principle is not bound by precedent. Thank goodness. And limitation is not in principle, but in the use of principle. No one and nothing can influence our consciousness unless we allow it. The universe can only give us that which we can accept. Powerful principles. I'll try to paste them in again later. But from Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, page 387 of our textbook, the spiral of life is upward. Evolution carries us forward, not backward. Eternal and progressive expansion is its law, and there are no breaks in its continuity. It seems to me that our evolution is the result of an unfolding consciousness of that which already is and needs but to be realized to become a fact of everyday life. So with that being said, it seems there has been a clear evolution in our teaching, not of our timeless principles, but how we can be more inclusive of the totality of who we are. We birthed as a teaching about the mind and our thoughts. This is demonstrated in our powerful declaration of principles. Next, we evolve to include our heart and widen the circle from individual empowerment to collective healing with our global vision. Now we are being called to widen the circle even more to include the body of somatic or intuitive wisdom. So I know oftentimes I hear people say, I'm not intuitive. I never get any clarity or feeling. But, I think if we all pay very, very close attention, we will all find that there is a intuitive wisdom within each of us. I know it is individually, and it certainly outpictures collectively. So I want to talk about the wisdom of the body a little bit. This is from The Art of Somatic Coaching from Richard Strozzi Heckler. And Richard says, when we connect with the core energy of the body, we connect a vast reservoir of wisdom, compassion, and intelligence that we have neglected over 3 billion years of embodied knowledge of survival, adapting, social intelligence, coordinating, intuition, and receptivity lie unused in us. So we have plenty of opportunities for growth within us. If we learn to listen to this life energy and to act from it, there's much it can teach us about living spiritual values, while our feet are firmly planted on the ground. This somatic or related to the body and intuition, intelligence affirms the truth of our interdependence, interconnectedness, and a power that lies beyond the self. So in a little bit, I'm going to share with you an exercise from Richard. And then after the video plays, we will go immediately into prayer. But I really want you to get up and stand up if you can. If you can't, be in your chair and work through this wonderful exercise. It's something that is a great reminder that we can do anytime, anywhere, really. So in closing, so are you all still awake? We have the timeless wisdom to apply to our evolutionary vision of a world that works for everyone by harnessing not only the power of our collective mind, but our collective heart, our collective body as well. This is an embodiment or an embodied spirituality that we will take us to the next level of our evolution. So this is an embodied spirituality that we will take with us to our next level of evolution. To do so, we must acknowledge the wisdom of the body, not be afraid of our embodied emotions, and come together in collective healing of our generational trauma. Life is not only where we are, it is what we are. It is in as well as around us, and its whole impulsion is love. The universe does not rest on the shoulders of love. Love is the real lodestone of life. From Ideas That Make a Difference, 1966. So now I'd like to share this interactive video with you in hopes that you will participate as Richard Strozzi Heckler, an author, coach, and consultant on embodied leadership and mastery, and a resident of Oakland, takes us through a centering practice I think you will enjoy. Before we begin, there is a quick quote from Richard that says, being out of touch with our body limits our capacity to learn and evolve, and it dramatically reduces the possibility of an authentic spiritual presence. So please join me and be with those words of wisdom. No sound.
Unmute yourself. Oh, there you go.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to stand up.
As we change ourselves personally and collectively through practices, let me suggest that we start with a practice. So if you're willing and you're able, please stand. And what we'll do is we'll do a brief centering practice. And a centering practice is designed so that we become present. We become present to others. We become present to the environment. We open to possibilities, and we connect with what matters to us. We remember what we care about and what is our purpose for being on this earth walk. And instead of it being like a bumper sticker or a magnet on your refrigerator, it's actually something you can do. Where you see the bumper sticker, world peace. We don't have world peace, so we need to practice world peace. So let's practice getting present. So if you just let your arms come to your side, and we're going to center on these 4 dimensions. And these 4 dimensions are on all living things, from a single cell protoplasm to a giraffe. And that's length, width, depth, and an organizing principle or purpose. So live inside of your length, come inside of your length this way. And when I say that, I mean, don't think of it as an idea or a concept, but feel your length. We're the only animal that can do this. And along our length, we're both straightening and we're settling. And let me encourage you to do this with your eyes open too, so that when we're in the heat of the kitchen, we can get present. When pressure's on us, we can get present. So we're both straightening and settling. And along the settling line, let your eyes relax. Come behind your eyes. And let a little space be between your teeth. So the jaw at the hinge and the chin are relaxed. And let's take our shoulders up to our ears, yeah, and let them drop. So either feel, sense, or imagine that the mass, the muscular system, is resting on the skeletal system. Letting your breath drop. And your knees are just slightly soft. So we could call this the human line of dignity. Now let's center on our width and maybe just sway back and forth left and right a little bit and just keep shortening that sway until you come right into that middle space. This is the horizontal plane. And really it's our social plane. This is where we connect with others. Length could be, we say in Japanese, tenchi, which is we're the bridge between heaven and earth. But on our width, what we are is that we are connecting as social animals. And let's come to our depth, our front and back. And because most of our senses are in front, and we hold most of our machines in front of us, we have a tendency to be forward. So bring your attention to your back. Can you feel the space between your shoulder blades? Can you feel your low back? If you can't, you need to wiggle in there. Just let yourself wiggle in a little bit. And we have a back, which are our teachers, our mentors, our guides, those that have come before us, those that have helped build this path. And our heart is open, our chest is open. Take your hand and just put it just below your belly button. That's your center of gravity, as we'll call physically our organizing principle. It's also a center of action, will. Sometimes it's called the hara or tantien, koth, in different cultures. Let's come up to our heart center, our center of compassion, goodwill, benevolence. And as long as we're here with your hand, let your hand say thank you to your heart and your lungs. And it's doing all that work and we never have to pay attention. We say thank you, heart. And then let's go to the eye center, pineal gland here. Perception, long horizons of time, the mystery. Then drop your hand. And align those three centers. Bring your attention to your body and align those three centers so that you're prepared for action. There's a grounded sense of compassion. And we have a pragmatic wisdom. And at this time, set your intention for the day. This day is successful for you. What will happen? What is your intent? So we say the merit of all practices is your intent. Open your fingers and extend down. And let's hold this posture as a way of saying thank you to the earth. Just think of it, everything that you've ever eaten or drank. The grasses and the trees, the winged ones. And let's extend up And we'll give thanks to the heavens, space, the waters, our other neighborhood. And let's extend out. You're close, you just extend out, palms out. And let's give thanks to people. And let's just take a moment and stretch ourselves and say to your best enemy and to your worst friend, everybody, thank you.
Thank you, John. I hope you enjoyed that.
In the very short time that I'm here,
We're going to place that link in case you'd like to watch the entire segment into the chat.
because we change ourselves personally and collectively through practices, let me say.
Okay, excuse me for that little blip. So now let us just close our eyes and go within and embrace what we've just experienced and know that we are all here by divine appointment, that there are no coincidences. We are here to share in this beautiful consciousness of love and oneness. So let's just take a deep breath, breathing in the one divine power and presence, knowing this power and presence by Mother, Father, God, who is all wise and all knowing, who is boundless, infinite, and everywhere present and alive, powerful, almighty, supreme, and absolute presence that guides us and directs us and reminds us of our oneness and how good it is to know that we are collectively connected with power and presence, and that we individually are imbued with all of the magnificent qualities of this powerful one. These qualities such as love, wholeness, of goodness and abundance, of peace and clarity, of wisdom, and so much more. The list just keeps on flowing. So I, Reverend Geri, claim and accept and acknowledge our nonprofit partner this month, Village in Oakland, a network of seasoned community activists and others working to make human dignity and health and human rights. For our planet, Mother Earth, in such gratitude for her beauty and resilience and our increasing mindful stewardship of her. And blessing those in service, creating a world that works for everyone. Blessing our youth and the youth of the world, knowing that they are guided by the loving mind and heart of the divine. And I'm knowing love and comfort and healing for all those impacted by challenges in whatever form. Knowing for our beloved Reverend and the wholeness and the healing activity of the divine taking place right here, right now, in this moment, in his body temple. As he continues to reveal the truth of who and whose he is. Joanne Somerville, continued healing in body, mind, and spirit. And comfort and healing for Taylor, for Margaret Socks, the beloved sister-in-law of Reverend Catherine Sachs, for David Robinson, Michael, for Dion Ferguson, Craig, Amy, and Louise, and for all who have been impacted by natural disasters and COVID-19. Blessings to our new relationship, knowing divine guidance as we move forward in 2021. Strength and ability, comfort, and just a world that is truly working for all. And for peace of mind, for those who have transitioned, for our beloved Alex Lapine, Oakland Center's sound man for many, many years. You'd see Alex in the back of the sound room, and he was always so obliging and such an amazing being of light. We know for his family, spiritual family at Oakland Center, peace of mind, peace of heart, knowing that Alex is on a great and grand and glorious journey. And the same for our beloved Richard Robinson. Happy 85th birthday tomorrow. You know that he has left his imprint on our spiritual community in the most amazing way. And we bless him in his continued. And now let's just take a moment to call forth anyone in your heart in need of a prayer this day. Whisper your prayers into the altars of love. And as the music continues to play and prayers continue to be spoken, I'm knowing that God's grace and is truly our sufficiency always, in all ways. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for our time together, for the opportunity to be with you today, and for the opportunity for us to gather as a spiritual community. How good is that? So I release these words now into that universal law of yes, the law that always takes care of our heart's desires and makes manifest goodness in our lives. As we open to receive, we know Spirit, Allah, whatever we choose to call it, is always working for our highest good and the harm of none. So please join me now in saying, and so it is. So it's that very special time, the time of sacred giving. I think we might have a slide for that. Yes? There we go. Please join me in reciting, New Year, New Start. This gift I give is God in action. It does good work in the world and blesses creation. And the next slide will lead you to the easiest place to give your gift. There's that donate button on our website. Not only the donate button, but you can text. I think I'm going to try that just for the fun of it. I love to give. Your gifts are so important to us, and we thank you for them. We also have on our website an opportunity, if you haven't completed your pledge card for 2021, to please consider this. It helps our center in such important ways as far as budgeting and planning. So please think about what it is that you can give from your heart to our heart. So now we have our beautiful, elegant pulpit assistant, Carmen West Jefferson. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Jerry. That was absolutely wonderful. Oh my God, my heart. Just beautiful. Can everyone hear me? Can you hear? Okay, great, great. Thank you again. And I just, yeah, it was just a wonderful sermon, just wonderful. And thank you for just being that light, being that word, and being that person, you know, that tells the truth. I really appreciate you. So I want to thank our musicians, the fabulous Cozy Arrington, the traveling voice, and Deb Santa Maria for their wonderful music. I want to let you know that practitioner Zoe DeMoro is hosting the prayer room after service. Do not take home a problem. You're able to pray with one of the practitioners here. And that's it. We'll say our closing affirmation. I want to also thank all of you for showing up this morning and coming and being part of our blessed congregation, being part of the healing here at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. And so let's say our closing affirmation. It's coming up right now. I am the ever evolving living embodiment of love. And so it is.
So it is.
And so it is. And now we will turn it over to Kenneth Cozy Arrington, the traveling voice, and the fierce Deb Santa Maria.
Thank you. In light of all that has happened in this most historic week, I thought that it would be a good idea to sing a song of patriotism. So you all will know this first verse. You won't know the middle one, but do sing the first and the last verse, which will be the same as the first, of America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shiny sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed his grace shy. We